Hello, Eurovision fans. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. It's only 3 weeks until the final of Eurovision 2023. Very exciting and also a bit sad that Eurovision season is going to end very, very soon. What I want to do today is look at the odds of the last 6 contests about 3 weeks or 4 weeks before the Eurovision final and see how well they were able to predict who was actually going to win Eurovision. And then later on, I will look at the odds as they are at the moment for 2023 and see what kinds of conclusions we can draw. By the way, if you like these nerdy data analysis videos, check out ESC Tom. He does them way more regularly than I do and probably much better. So if you're interested in that, check him out. Now, let's have a look at the odds 3 or 4 weeks before the Eurovision finals in the last couple of years. Let's start with 2022. Now, first in the odds was Ukraine, and obviously Ukraine actually won, so the odds were quite good at predicting that. Second was Italy with Brividi. This was probably hurt by the subpar vocal performance, so the odds might not have predicted a bad vocal performance, and it actually came 6th. Then third, we had Cornelia Jacobs from Sweden. Fourth, the United Kingdom with Sam Ryder. And fifth, and this is the main mistake that the odds made in 2022, Poland in 5th place, which did not happen. Spain was actually 6th. And so they got 4 out of the top 5 correctly. And they also got the winner correctly in 2022, which is quite a feat, I think. Then in 2021, we had Malta and Destiny in 1st place. In 2nd place, which actually happened, France with Voila. Then Switzerland, John's Tears. And in 4th place, Måneskin with Siti Buani. In 5th place, Bulgaria. This is, again, the big mistake, having Bulgaria 5th in 2021. However, they got France right in 2nd place, Switzerland in 3rd place, and they only switched Malta and Italy. So Italy actually won, and they were only 4th in the odds in 2021. Then in 2019, they got the winner correctly with the Netherlands, then Switzerland 2nd, Russia 3rd, Italy 4th, and Sweden 5th. And this is actually, I think, the only year in the last couple of years where the odds got the top 5 exactly correct. Not the positions exactly, but the winner and the countries that would be in the top 5. So that's quite impressive as well. So from these 3, we can say that the odds had the winner at least in the top 4, and they were quite good at predicting the top 5. But let's look a bit further back. In 2018, the odds predicted Israel to win, which actually happened. However, they also had Bulgaria in 2nd place, which did not happen at all. And I think here there's a bit of an effect because Bulgaria came 2nd in 2017 and sent another slick pop song in 2018, Bones. And so people might have been influenced by that. And that is an interesting observation that we might have to think about, that people kind of look at the country's result in the previous year and are influenced by that a bit when doing their bets. Then Czechia was in 3rd place, Australia in 4th. Big mistake. But again, I think Australia in that year, that was Jessica Mauboy, was quite hurt by the vocal performance. So we can forgive the odds for that. And then Estonia with La Forza, also not quite correctly. This is, I think, the year where they were most off, kind of, because Israel did win and they did predict that, but they didn't have Cyprus or Germany in the top 15 at all. And of course, Cyprus came 2nd, was a big surprise during Eurovision week, and Germany came 4th with a very impactful performance. And Austria, which came 3rd, was also only 15th. So if you have a country that is not in the current top 5, look at 2018 and you can find some arguments why we might see some surprises during Eurovision week. Then in 2017, again, not that great at predicting. Italy for the win, they said, Francesco Gabbani, which obviously didn't happen. Bulgaria in 2nd place, that did happen. Sweden in 3rd. Sweden was in the top 5. Portugal, which went on to win, was actually 4th. I was a bit surprised by that because I thought that Portugal was a big surprise during Eurovision week and kind of no one expected them to do well. But apparently they were already 4th in the odds a month or 3 weeks before the final in 2017. And then Belgium with Blanche, which also did quite well. So the only real big mistake here actually is having Italy as the winner when it came sixth, I think, and having Portugal only in fourth place when it did win. And then in 2016, they had Sergei Lazarev, which I can understand, in first place, then Amir for France in second, Sweden in third, Australia in fourth with Dami Im, who obviously came second, and Malta in fifth with Ira Losko, which did not do that well, as I remember. And the actual winner in 2016 was sixth, Ukraine. So you can see that sometimes they do get the winner right, but sometimes they are quite off, especially I think in 2018. There were quite some misses in the odds. 2017 a bit better, but also in 2016 they didn't have the winner in the top five a month or 3 weeks before Eurovision actually happened. And having Malta there is also a bit of a miss. So we can say that the odds are helpful in predicting the winner, but they are not 100%. Now let's look at the odds as they are at the moment for 2023. What we have to keep in mind is I think most people submitting bets at the moment are actually Eurovision fans. I think the general audience has not realized yet that Eurovision is so close. And a lot of the bets are probably done by Eurovision fans, so they are influenced a bit by the favorites that Eurovision fans have. I also think that the UK is usually a bit overrated in the odds because a lot of the betting sites are in the UK and people in the UK are used to betting. And I've noticed that before Sam Ryder, a lot of UK entries that did quite poorly in the end were in the top 10 or doing quite well in the odds before Eurovision, so we have to keep that in mind. And because it's Eurovision fans, maybe female-led pop songs will be a bit overrated, and rock songs, bands, as Måneskin was in 2021, they were only fourth in the odds but managed to win. So let's have a look. We are talking about the possibility of winning. So as you can see, from 11th to 20th, they all have around 1% winning chance, and people are betting on the country they think will win. So this is not a prediction of the top 20 or the top 10. This is the likelihood people attribute to certain countries of winning Eurovision. So Germany in 20th, I think, is a bit low. I think I do understand why people don't think it will win, given our history with the televote in recent years and also some of the jury votes. But it is an impactful performance. They have a big fan base, so I would hope that they increase a bit in the odds and more people believe that they can actually win. Croatia, I think, could be higher. There is a scenario where people really get what the entry is about and the fan base helps them as well with a lot of votes from the diaspora and the neighboring countries. I do understand that people don't think this will win, but I do think it could be a bit higher, for example, than Australia and Georgia and Serbia even. Switzerland, I actually see a pathway where he becomes this surprise during Eurovision week like Eleni Foureira was in my God, I'm a bad Eurovision fan, 2018. And people are just taken away by his voice, and the performance is very impactful. And I could see him increase a bit. Same for Armenia, actually. And Italy is only 11th. It's the only male ballot if the Netherlands and Switzerland for some reason don't make it to the final. It's one of the only ballots in the competition, actually. We have Lithuania, Estonia, Switzerland, Netherlands, and Italy, I guess. I don't know if I'm missing something, but he has a great vocal performance. He's a great an experienced performer especially, and he has this very specific genre that is not overrepresented this year. So I do think that he has a bit of a better chance than 1% of winning. But let's look at the top 10, which is what you guys are probably most interested in. And you can see even up to number 4, they only have a 5% winning chance, which is really not a lot. But in 10th place, we have the United Kingdom. And I do think here that's a bit overrated. I don't see the UK winning, especially with the vocal performance we have seen in the pre-parties. And this might be the effect that I talked about, that a lot of the betting sites are located in the UK, and people from the UK hearing this song on the radio are betting on it. Czechia, I think there might still be a lot of money in there from when it was revealed, and it has gone down quite a bit. I don't really see that winning either. Austria, however, I do see a pathway, because Austria could be a jury top 3 and a televote top 3 and might do a Duncan and screech through and get the trophy. So I do think Austria should be higher up. Israel, we have to wait for the staging, and people, I think, are betting on the staging being, literally betting on the staging being really, really impactful, and that's why she's 7th. France, I can totally understand why she's there. There is a pathway where she wins the jury vote by quite a margin and then also gets a good televote. Norway, same as Austria in a way. This could get a good jury vote and then win the televote. So I do understand why people are betting on it. Spain, I'm a bit surprised it is 4th. And I'm not sure whether here we have this effect that we had with Bulgaria in 2018, where people thought it did so well in 2017. Bulgaria is on a roll, and so they bet on it in 2018 as well. Because Chanel came 3rd, of course, which for Spain was the best result in a long, long, long time. I still have a problem seeing Spain being very accessible to the general audience, and also Spain being a jury-friendly song, because the juries don't usually go for ethnic songs. They love vocal performances, and she has that, but seeing the juries vote massively for Spain, I'm not seeing that at this moment. So having Spain in 4th place is a bit surprising to me. I might be prejudiced a bit, because I personally don't like the song, but I'm kind of sticking with my prediction for Spain that it won't do that well in the end. At least not as well as people think, and I'm not giving it a 5% winning chance, actually. Then Ukraine, again, might be the effect from last year. They got a massive, massive, massive televote, as we've never seen before. And people might think, well, this will happen again, and that's why they are betting on it. I think, again, there's a lot of money from the early stages in there, in the 8% winning chance. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's a bit of thinking that Ukraine will do really well again, and that might not actually happen. Then with Finland and Sweden, I think 42% winning chance for Sweden is too high, honestly. I know she's Loreen, I know it's a good song, I know she can perform well, and she's proven that she can win Eurovision, but I do think that there are quite some pathways for Finland, for Austria, for France, for Norway, and even for Ukraine, if the televote is as high as it was last year, or doesn't have to be as high as last year, but close to that, for them to snatch the win from Loreen. So I do think 42% is a bit too high, and I think 18% for Käärijä might be a bit too low. Again, probably mostly Eurovision fans betting at the moment, and they prefer female-led pop songs in general. So, and Sweden has done quite well in the odds in the last couple of years, but the odds were quite right about Sweden. However, more about the jury vote than about the televote. And maybe juries are just a bit too influenced by who is high up in the odds, because they don't want to vote something down that is one of the favorites. That might also be another effect that we can find from the odds in the last couple of years. So looking at the last 6 years, we can say that the winner was always in the top 5 of the odds 3 to 4 weeks before the show. So we can predict that Norway, Spain, Ukraine, Finland, or Sweden will probably win Eurovision this year. And the odds usually got a few of the top 5 correctly, and a few they missed. So I do think that maybe Ukraine, maybe Spain, maybe Norway might not be in the top 5 and might be replaced by, for example, France, Austria. I can also see Italy being in the top 5. Of course, I know that the odds are not trying to predict the top 5. I know that. But for the purpose of this video, I kind of looked at it that way. These are my thoughts, maybe a bit incoherently, sorry about that. And please subscribe to my channel if you want to know more about the data. I'm going to publish a video about the charts, OGAE, vote, and the scoreboard, Eurovision scoreboard as well, kind of trying to analyze what we can find out looking at these data, and of course more videos about Eurovision 2023 coming up in the next 3 weeks. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for joining, and come back for my next video. Bye bye.